20v1, nigga. Look, it's a 20v1 man on me. Niggas try to mark us out like Garvey.
Prince Solomon.
What the hell is wrong with him?
What's up, everybody? This is your man, Prince Solomon. Joey Badass has just come back outside. He released a track called Pardon Me, and it looks like this is going to be an EP. Now, there's Pardon Me, track 1, and then there's Sorry Not Sorry, part 2, and then, of course, there is The Ruler's Back, track 3. All right, I know I said part 2, but you guys get the point. 1, 2, 3. That's what it is. A 1, 2, 3 punch. Now, here's the thing. This track here has a lot more energy. It does remind me of some Heatmakers type stuff. Gives you a lot of the old school Just Blaze type stuff as well. And, you know, it's 3 songs on this particular EP. And so with that being the case, I think Joey Badass is taking his time right now. Now, he does mention in this particular track, Pardon Me, about the 20v1, you know, of course, referencing Drake when he was like, this is a 20v1. Of course, you guys know I love the Kendrick flip. It's a 1v20 if I got to smack niggas that right with you. But Joey Badass, nonetheless, is basically saying, look, everybody responded. I pretty much shot at the guys that I wanted to, because it's not only just Kendrick Lamar that he was dealing with. And I understand Sin and I, we covered, but we know why everybody came outside, because, look, you had 50 Cent, you had Mace, you had Cameron, you even had $1 Million worth of Game, then you have a lot of people in the industry, and then there's this whole anti-West Coast sentiment. So it seemingly looked like a lot of people just did not want Kendrick Lamar to walk away with the W, or at the very least, they didn't want the nigga to enjoy his victory lap. So with that being the case, when Joey Badass showed up, and we seen him associated with majority, of course, 50 Cent properties, but also typically just classical hip-hop New York properties, you know, with the story of Wu-Tang and things of that nature, and then Power Book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, BMF, I don't know, Jetson Flintstone series. I don't follow any of the BMF Power Book, okay? But I do know from time to time, I do understand that Joey Badass is a part of the show. So a lot of people reacted. And not only that, we just hadn't heard from Joey Badass in a long time, to be honest with you. I know he dropped some stuff in 2024, like Tell Me with Chloe and things of that nature. But for the most part, you know, Joey Badass has kind of been on the Hollywood tip. So when he came back outside and he was doing the thing with the pop-out dance and all this other stuff, a lot of people was just kind of genuinely confused. Not only that, this is what I will say for Joey Badass and anybody else, but specifically for Joey. People forget diss records, they are historically narrative tracks. Even if you're clowning someone, you're telling a story how this person is a clown, or you're telling a story how this person is not a gangster, or they're getting diddified late at night, even though they're claiming they're getting all these women out here. You have to tell a story. The one thing that I've always felt from Joey Badass is there wasn't really a clear, concise story as to what happened, other than for what it looked like to the general public. It's like, I just want to rap, I just want to battle, and that's cool too. But for the most part, Joey has been a bit of a recluse. He's always kept to himself. So this is the first time the general public had seen him show any type of extracurricular behavioral modificated technology. All right. Basically him coming outside saying that I want to do something. I want to be a part of the conversation. And it kind of felt like I just want to be a part of this conversation too. And I do believe in my heart that what he saw with Kendrick Lamar and Drake and J. Cole, I think that genuinely inspired Joey Badass. That's my take on it. Because keep in mind, when Kendrick Lamar disappeared for about 4 to 5 years, remember he talked about he was facing writer's block. He was uninspired. He says a lot of you niggas was making me uninspired. You know, nobody was competing. Everybody wanted to be friends. Everybody wanted to be on a DJ Khaled track, and Kendrick ran short of patience. So I think with all of the energy that was happening last year, I genuinely think Joey Badass, possibly with the advice or maybe seeing quote unquote his homeboy 50, depending on what his relationship is with 50, but I think Joey Badass was most inspired to hop outside and try to get busy and make some things happen. Now, of course, like I stated early on, because the narrations weren't all that clear and concise, and listen, Kendrick Lamar has been very direct with his jabs. Even Drake, now Drake has been pushed back into subliminals, okay? Because he's throwing niggas' jerseys down on stage, and, you know, He's talking about Melissa Ford. Like, he's been pushed into that space. So he's not really doing any directs as it stands right now until he possibly may feel more confident later on this summer. He's going to try to stick his chest out one more time this summer. That being the case, though, it was a bit aggravating for the general public because people just saying, be out with it, Joey. Just say what it is. What's the issues, right? And I think Joey Badass, from what I got from the Pardon Me track, I think he's drawing this out, so whatever he really wants to say is probably going to be on the album. All right. Now, am I going to say, like, oh, is people going to really be checking for the album? I'm not going to diss the nigga just because, you know, I think I'm sorry, not sorry. I don't feel it's the strongest track, or The Ruler's Back. I don't feel it's the strongest track. I think Pardon Me has much better energy. But no, I will be interested in seeing what body of work he's going to be piecing together. So I'm not that hung up on, you know, oh, Joey shouldn't diss none of these, because at the end of the day, the nigga is an MC. Now, again, the motivations may be a little different. So when Daylight hopped out there, Rayvon hopped out there, I don't know, I saw a Chingo Bling Mexican type rapper from the West Coast. I didn't know what he was saying, but he looked like he was dissing Joey Badass. There was a lot of people jumping out there. And so I think Joey also had to keep in mind, oh wait, this is the West Coast. So all of these niggas, this is really a home team type of region here. So, you know, you got niggas in Arizona talking about don't fuck with the West Coast. You got niggas in Seattle, don't fuck with the West Coast. Niggas in Denver, don't fuck with the West Coast. So Joey coming out of there like, oh, too much West Coast dick licking, and then he got that initial response, which he knew what he was doing. I don't believe he thought so many MCs would be coming outside. And, you know, Daylight has been all through New York filming art gallery videos dissing the nigga. So from my understanding, there was some reaching out to see if there's really any issues, and then Joey was saying, allegedly what they're stating is that he just said there's no real thick issues, it's a competitive thing. So I think on top of that, because Joey does deal with Hollywood a lot of times too, and niggas flying out of certain regions, and no nigga is trying to get that whack 100 treatment, allegedly. You know, I think there has to be some points where he's probably slowed down and thinking there's politicking going on behind the scenes. But from what I got with Pardon Me, he still says he wants to compete. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't think some of the stuff he put out there, I don't think is strong enough to warrant a direct response from Kendrick. But I don't think Joey Badass is necessarily just singularly focused on Kendrick. I believe if J. Cole opened his mouth, I think Joey Badass will be ready to get busy. I personally feel like J. Cole and Joey Badass is more of an appropriate battle. I think Rayvon gets busy on the microphone. I think the nigga is definitely talented, and I think he's a very funny MC. You guys know how I feel about funny MC, niggas that can deliver a punchline, witty humor, complicated metaphors and flows, but at the same time, they can make you laugh. I think that's a very special gift. This was Kendrick demonstrated. We've seen it with Doechii. Redman has been a legend with it at the same time, and even Missy Elliott. I know people sleep on her pen game, but don't sleep on her jokes, humor, and wit and punchlines. She's very funny. So with that being the case, I think Rayvon, I think he's a very excitable, energetic MC, but I believe Joey Badass generally doesn't feel Rayvon is on his level. Now, am I saying Rayvon is not on his level? I think any MC can get leveled, or I think any MC can level up in the game depending on what they do to their opponent. Now, that being the case, I am going to be interested in seeing what the fuck does Joey Badass really got going on. I think most of his body of work has been pretty solid from 2000, from 1999 to 2000, then the All-American Badass joint, and then he had the Badass joint in 2015. Me and Sin, we're not one of these funny ass fans or listeners, better yet. I don't do the fandom shit, neither does Sin, but we're not one of these fickle ass listeners, like just because a nigga drops The Ruler back and we're like, oh, that nigga, all his shit garbage. But I get it, it's rap music, it's hip hop. All the nigga gotta do is fuck up one time and he throwing his body of work in the dumpster. So with that being the case, I do think it's a decent effort. I think Kendrick is going to be moving on to some other. He's going to do one more special treatment for this particular phase of his career. Then niggas moving on to some other shit. But I do feel if niggas do want their own victory lap, look, I'm telling you all right now, there's a nigga from North Carolina named J. Cole, all right? He's been sliding by at the same time being put in a big three category. And I personally feel that that perception can be changed immediately if he chooses to engage. You know, people say he's scared of Kendrick. Perfectly fine. From the very beginning, you know, I never felt that they were on the same level equally as far as lyricism go. People have their camps, their bodies of work, but I do believe Joey Badass isn't just singularly focused on Kendrick. I think Kendrick Kendrick is just seen as like just the golden goose. You know, what MC that really has hunger in it? They want to fight the fucking heavyweight champ, and Kendrick's the heavyweight champ right now. And Joey was in the crowd with his fur coat on and said, man, come on, I want my shot, nigga. I want my shot. So that's what's going on with Joey. But I do believe, though, J. Cole still has to come outside. And I think also Kendrick is a pressure cooker, too. I believe Kendrick's run is going to extend deep into this year. And I think he's going to be forcing a lot of people, especially folks like J. Cole, to really put up their best effort. But also at the same time, Cole may have to fight somebody, because he did say he was a part of the big three, that if I diss a nigga, in my personal opinion, Sin said the same thing. The only person we've seen Cole go after was a pre-retardated Kanye West. So that doesn't count to me. Yeah, you know, people thought it was poetic. Was it false prophets, fallen prophets? I didn't give a fuck about that shit. Because it's Kanye West. Who cares about anything that he says, does, or how he responds? However, though, I do believe that J. Cole does have some hip-hop tax to pay, because for a long time he's been showing a lot of these MCs that, you know, I'm a part of the big three, nigga, you can't fuck with me. It's me, Kendrick, and Drake. You know, Kendrick says, I don't know none of you niggas. So then Cole is like, all right, I'm gonna go high. Then he came out with Port of Antonio. He talking about how much he loved Drake, and then Drake is out here dissing co-hosts and things like that. So I think, you know, J. Cole has a hip-hop tax to pay, and I do believe that's something possibly Joey Badass can take care of. Look, I think Ray Vaughn gave Joey Badass some strong bars, my personal opinion, and so did Daylight. But I do believe Joey Badass, I think he just generally don't feel that is his weight class, okay? I think he really believes and he feels that it's the J. Cole's and the Kendrick Lamars. Now, dynamics with Drake, I don't know, some of the niggas, especially from the East Coast, they've gotten kind of funny where, you know, like, yo, it's about bars and lyrics and it's about writing your own shit. But then they'll be like, oh, we love Drake. You're like, well, what about the ghostwriter shit? No, nobody care about that shit. So that's kind of fun. So I don't know what Joey's Badass's dynamics with Drake is or was, but I do believe Joey Badass, I don't think he feels those guys over there. And I don't feel he wants to keep flirting with that West Coast energy. You know, that's just my personal opinion. I think him and Ray Vaughn is a dope battle. Look, like I told you, I think any MC can get leveled and any MC can level up. That's just like boxing. So with that being the case, I will say Pardon Me had the best energy. I did love the production on it. Sorry Not Sorry and The Ruler's Back, I think they are decent efforts, but you gotta understand, we just had a hell of a fireworks show that was put on last year all the way up to the Super Bowl. So, you know, my mindset is that I would like for some of the MCs to understand that you also have to convince the audience. I get it, you know, everybody want to go in their own way. I think that's personally what got J. Cole in trouble. When he did that delete me, delete later, delete shit, whatever the fuck that shit was. You know, all that nigga really needed to do was just take away the beat and make the shit spoken word poetry, because I just wasn't feeling a lot of that shit he was doing on there. And it just sounded like he was rapping shit that he only wanted to hear. And so that's what my statement was to Joey Badass. Like, if you're going after the Kendricks and Coles, like, there's no point in dealing with Drake. He already, his shit is already shot up. But the Kendricks and Coles, like, people got to understand, these are going to be dynamic performers. Now, I don't think J. Cole is a dynamic performer as an MC when it comes to dissing, but he does put on one hell of a show when he's selling a lot of wolf tickets, like Sin said earlier at the top of the Drake and Kendrick battle. J. Cole is a very strong actor when it comes to selling a lot of wolf tickets. And then we know Kendrick Lamar, I keep telling folks, he's the Denzel Washington of vocal performances on the microphone when it comes to rapping. So what I'm saying is, for MCs like Joey Badass, you got to show more energy. Like the Pardon Me would be a good direction to go in. I think J. Cole does owe some hip hop tax for all of this shit he's been doing. And I think he's trying to find a way to slide the fall off out there without having any direct conflict that would actually displace him further than how he's behaved during the battle. But he hasn't really, quote unquote, gotten his ass beat up on track. And I actually think Joey Badass and the J. Cole angle is definitely an appropriate battle. You know, it's his choice if he wants to respond to Ray Vaughn. I think Ray Vaughn is a fucking hell of an MC. I think he's a gifted nigga. I'm definitely looking to see what the does he grow into? I think Mick Jenkins, I like his most recent shit that he dropped recently. I think he's a talented MC, a talented artist as well. So, you know, at the end of the day, the ironic part about it is this, and I'm just going to leave it on this note. Joey Badass, Mick Jenkins, of course, J. Cole, and then there's Kendrick. It's kind of like the last go-round for the same class of individuals. Because, you know, Mick Jenkins had been out just as long as the rest of them. You know, he has a new track out in the video. The video is funny, actually. He's got a joint called Publix. It's funny, it's witty. I think Mick Jenkins, I do feel he's I always felt he was a dangerous MC. And, you know, I think Badass can go in either direction. I think Mick Jenkins can go in either direction. But I'm going to be honest with you. Some people may say, like, Prince, you always picking on Cole. I said, no, I think Cole needs to pay some hip-hop tax because Mick Jenkins delivers when it comes to bars, and he let it be known. Even with all of his soft Jerry Curl approach, he's still showing effort. Initial effort. I'm still going to keep talking about. He said it on Pardon Me. I'm still going to keep talking my shit. I think, like I said, as they call him, J. Fold. Look, I just think the man owes some taxes to hip hop. Okay, and I think because you might get some slugs from Kendrick, Joey. You might get some you might get some here if Kendrick does the deluxe shit. Right? But realistically, a more appropriate battle for you would be J. Cole. It really would. If you're looking to level up, get your name out there. And I think there's a very strong capability, a possibility for Joey to pull off a victory in that space. That's just my personal opinion. Because I ain't seen J. Cole show up to shit. You know, that's just my personal opinion. But Pardon Me, a stronger track. You know, it's a decent direction to go in. I still think, you know, the production line should be opened up a lot more, but we'll see where it goes. He may have something already lined up. But anyway, you know, ladies and gentlemen, leave your comments below.